Rose and Zoe overthink. Ask you questions, leave you on the brink. What's the point of existence? Welcome back to Brains Unpicked.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Brains Unpicked. I'm Rose.
I'm Zoe.
And as per usual, we're two 20-something-year-olds who chronically overthink, spiral about everything and take you with us along the way. So you're in for probably another wild ride. But exciting news, guys. We've got a new segment for you today. Ooh. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be exciting. I have no idea what's going to happen.
You don't know much about it.
I'm in for a surprise. So, well, I know about it, but I don't know what I'm going to have to talk about. So this is exciting. So shall we get into it?
Yeah, how are you, Rose? We've actually not seen each other in like a week.
Yeah.
Wild, we went to the cinema last night. That was a strange experience.
It
went
was.
to the 4DX showing of Novocaine.
So I was actually going to talk about a little bit, touch on this well, not like we can talk about it, but I was going to ask you a question based on something about it. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wild experience. And I had just been home for the week. So I had just more or less got up the road like maybe 2 hours prior to going.
Yeah.
And I text Rose like, by the way, as soon as I get in the car, I was like, by the way, just so you're aware, I don't feel 100%. I think that my hay fever is playing up or I've got a sinus infection. So if I sound funny, that's why. And you were like, brilliant, because we're going to the 4DX show. And I was like... Sick.
There was a bit of a mix-up. So I've only ever been to 4DX twice. Once was last night, once was years ago. And they were both accidental.
Always on accident.
And they've both been wild goes, but
good. It was good fun.
It was good fun. Yeah.
But yeah.
How was your holiday?
Oh, it was so good. You know, it was just so nice to be home and not thinking too much and not doing anything too much and seeing all my people that I haven't seen in a while and hanging about with my little cousin and things like that. It was nice. It didn't feel like there was too much pressure. It just felt low-key and fun. And also, whilst I was down, and this video will already be up by the time this episode is up, we have released our first vlog.
So exciting!
We did film this vlog back in November.
Was it November? I couldn't remember.
Because I say Merry Christmas in it, and someone's like, it's literally November. And I'm like, oh, it's now April. So it took me a while to edit it, but our first vlog is up, so go to YouTube right now and watch it. If you're if you're just listening to this, get your ass to YouTube, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. You sent it to me, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god, I had hair.
Yeah, you had hair.
That was so wild.
My hair was a different colour.
Yeah. Adele was exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Adele, our friend Adele features on the episode. The vlog.
Yeah.
So.
But it was a fun adventure,
so
and you're finally getting to see it.
If you don't watch us and don't go on our YouTube ever, get your bahookie over there, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And while you're there, why not enjoy this episode on it as well? Because so you can see us and we're cool and our background's cool and
So yeah, anyway, let's crack on. Sorry,
yes.
I just thought I'd throw, there was some other things going on that I thought I'd throw out there first. Have I got a minor inconvenience
excellent.
for you, by the way?
Let's
go. It only
go.
happened on my way up the road, so I've not really been majorly inconvenienced or minorly inconvenienced, but this, I don't know what, well, there was two things that happened whilst I was away, but this really riled me up for no reason, right? So, got to the petrol station, and you know those petrol stations where you can't possibly overtake the person that's in front of you, to leave and things like that. So,
and they always take an age.
So, you're touching on it,
right?
So basically, I pulled up to the petrol station, and the car at the very front left, so the woman pulled through, and I then went behind her. Brilliant. The amount of time it took this woman to get out of the car, I had to get out the car, paid my petrol, filled it up to, I was at £35 by the time she had even get out of her car into the pump, and I'm like, I'm going to be back in my car and I'm going to be sat down waiting for this woman to move. And then she had to put her PIN in, and it took her she couldn't even get her bank card out of her purse. It took her a lifetime, and I was like, are you kidding me are you actual?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm an hour away from home, hurry up. And like it was just as if she had no concept whatsoever that she was in front of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, move. So then I get back into the car. I managed to send a text, write the minor inconvenience down. Managed to write it down in the time. I also wrote a would you rather down in the time. And then she toddled back to her car. It took ages to start up her car. She wasn't in any rush to leave. And I was just sat there like, where is the etiquette?
Yeah.
If you're in front and you know that car can't overtake you, move. Move quicker.
Yeah.
Like, do not be out the car first. Run. Usain Bolt it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that grated my cheese. I was raging.
I'm not surprised, and it's always like, because you can see the ones at the other side, they're like filing through, but no, you have to sit here, and then there's probably people behind you that is raging as well, but no, it's like some people live in a world entirely of their own and have no consideration for anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, so my minor inconvenience is that bloody Lipton's iced tea almost had me for a minute there.
Oh, are they not discontinued?
No. So they put out, for anyone that doesn't know, Lipton's iced tea put out a thing saying that they were discontinuing peach flavoured iced tea, which is their like main iced tea. Like you go anywhere and you get peach. There's lemon. There's loads of other flavours that we don't get like much of the likes of here, but in the dark ages. But yeah, they were like, we're getting rid of peach iced tea, and I went through a peach iced tea phase a couple of years ago, and I drank it religiously. I don't drink it so much anymore, but it is one of like the go-to drinks. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I wasn't one of these people that like ran to buy up loads of them. I didn't buy any of it, but I was just like, absolutely not. They must be fools. They must be morons. What do you mean you're getting rid of your best-selling iced tea? But then they put up a thing, I don't know if it was the day later or a couple of days later, saying, oops, we got the days wrong. We thought it was the 1st of April. Peach will be staying around or something.
Duolingo killing off that bird has caused us nothing but boredom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like people there was loads of people that were trying to figure out whether or not someone had genuinely accidentally like
posted it
like it was supposed to be posted on April Fool's and they posted it late, or it was that was genuinely what they were doing the whole time, or if they weren't expecting so much of a backlash.
Yeah.
But they had me for a minute there. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I don't want lemon.
I think what brands have now decided to do is realise that cancel culture brings so much so much traffic that they're now just cancelling their products for a hot minute just to see us all crumble, and then they're like, ha, kid, no. Exactly. If your cancelled influencer can come back, so can we.
Yeah, and you know what? I see what they did there, because I hadn't thought twice about a Lipton's iced tea in ages, and then I thought, I could go a peach iced tea. Yeah. So they did well, but they had me. I was like, you're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not doing it. Because I can't imagine a summer day, no peach iced tea at the ready.
Right, brains unpicked.
Yes.
Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I can start. So, as we were saying, we went to see Novocaine last night, right? Okay. We went to see it in 4DX. So,
I want a seatbelt, by the way.
Yeah.
In the 4DX experience.
It is wild, isn't it?
Because at one point I was like, I think I'm coming out of this chair.
Yeah. So, I have told this story a million times. The first time I went to see Bullet Train in 4DX, and we'd accidentally, like, we were going to the last screen of the night, didn't realise that it was a 4DX one. We'd driven all the way out from Aberdeenshire, and we were like, we'll just go to it, right? Neither of us had ever been before. I went to the toilet and I came back, and neither of us realised that the chairs start moving, like it all starts in the trailers and things. So I had went to the toilet, came back, and it hadn't been moving before I left. My friend was being thrown about all over the place, like it was so violent, and I couldn't get back in my chair. I was like properly like, oh my god, can't get in. But yeah, it's so like, you probably think you're going to be thrown about, especially with Novocaine. If anyone doesn't know what it's about. It's about a guy that can't like feel pain, and he's like, it's like an action film. Somebody gets kidnapped, he goes to try and rescue them, and he's coming up against like fighting loads of people, and he's getting chucked about, and so were we.
Yeah.
Right, but I had this.
That's like the punches to the back, though.
Yeah,
Did feel like
I did feel like you were like getting
oh,
a
yeah,
crack to the back.
do that
yeah.
again. Punch me to the back again.
See, when you were getting like shot at, and there was like bullets, I could feel that right on my scalp. I was like, ugh.
Do you know what freaked me out? Is like it's got a bit where you can turn the water on and off, and as soon as we sat down, I went, no, I want the water on.
Yeah.
But every time the water went off, it was because blood was splattering, and
Yeah.
I'm scared of blood.
Yeah.
So every single time I was like, ugh.
Yeah. See, also, so Zoe messaged our group weeks ago and was like, does anyone want to go and see Novocaine? I hadn't heard about it. So I went and watched the trailer and then came back and was like, yeah, I'll go and see it with you. Said nothing more about it. And then she messaged me again this week to see if I wanted to go and see something else. Obviously, we hadn't seen each other. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I think I'm going to go and see Novocaine. It's out this weekend. Do you want to come? And she just went, yeah, that's fine. And then I picked her up to take her to the cinema and she went, what is this film about? And I was like, what are you talking about? You asked to see it. And then it wasn't, so I explained it to her. And then it wasn't until we were like at least half an hour into the film, I thought, why did she want to see this? There's blood everywhere. Like, it was so violent and gory. And I was like, she picked this, like, she doesn't remember, but she actually picked this.
Do you know what my thing is, right? So I don't really like films.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion. I don't really like them. It's not that I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't really care too much about films. I'll go see a film. I won't think much about it anyway. So I've not got like a, what is it? A poster box, letterbox.
Yeah.
I ain't got a post box. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one
No
of those
post
people.
for Zoe.
No post, no letters of the box, right?
Yeah.
Not me. And I respect everyone else that is into films, but I'm not.
Yeah. Each to their
So
own, innit?
every now and then I see an advert, mostly on YouTube, for a film, and I go, oh, that looks sick, I'll go see that. It's like, you know, when you're sat in the cinema and all the trailers come on, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll see that. That's me about every film, like,
Yeah.
ever. So clearly the Novocaine advert came on at some point, and I went, oh, that looks sick, I'll go see that. And I know that you and many of my other friends are like actual people that film people, you know,
Yeah.
got the cinema card, love the cinema, like watching films, like reviewing, like all of that stuff, right? So I'm always like, oh, sick, 'cause I can just tell them I like a film and then we can go. And then I forget that I say these things because it is a fleeting thought for me. It is as fleeting as when you're sitting in the cinema and the trailer comes on, you go, I want to see that film.
Yeah.
That is me with every film ever.
I get you.
So
yeah.
I had no idea until we walked into the cinema and I saw the poster and I went, oh, that film.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I remember that guy's face.
Yeah.
And it was because I remembered the conversation that followed about him.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, I went off on a tangent about I don't like the Quaids, or I'm not a fan of the Quaids, do you know what I mean? And I think all the sons annoy me kind of because they look exactly like their dad and I don't like him. However, I did enjoy that film and I saw past the Quaidness and he was actually quite good. But my brain's unpicked is, and I genuinely wrote this in my note months ago and have just never thought about like actually talking about it. And I feel that we came close to getting an answer last night, but didn't quite. So months ago, I don't know why this came into my head, but I thought to myself, what happens if there's a shagging scene in a 4DX film? Is everyone just getting absolutely rattled about?
Maybe.
Yeah. And so there was a scene last night that I thought was going there and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. It didn't quite go there, and I'm pleased that it didn't, because I don't know if I want to know that answer, but at the same time
They're definitely going to move those chairs away.
Yeah. They have to.
Yeah.
Because they moved the first half an hour of that film. I thought we weren't going to move at all,
Yeah.
and then the rest of it, you were
Then we
like
got-
just being
yeah.
flung about. But it would occasionally in the first half an hour, like when he started up his car,
Yeah.
you could feel like there was
The way that if 50 Shades of Grey was a 4DX film, the women
Yeah.
would have lost their mind.
Oh my god, can you imagine
No.
all the middle-aged women in that cinema?
Crazy. Anyway,
It's
let's
scary-
not
scary
even think
thought,
about it.
yeah.
No, that's a fair question. I reckon, it would definitely.
Because I was thinking about as well, like, there must be a whole team of people that have to like choreograph
Well,
a
that's
4DX.
my thing. I wondered how it was choreographed.
Yeah.
Or
So
if
there
it's
must
just, like,
people must have to watch it over and over again and figure out how they're going to move the chair, what they're going to do, like blah 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 blah. So I was like, if that were the case, if there were to be a scene like that, someone's gonna have to sit and watch that and go, well, what would do here? What would do this? What pace? What would...
Ah, no.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
No, that's...
So
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I would recommend Novocaine. It was
Only in
surprisingly
4DX.
good. Yeah, yeah, because we were saying when we came out, like I don't know if you would enjoy it any more or less.
If it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my brains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My brains unpicked is absolutely, it's not remotely relevant whatsoever. Isn't it
all right.
weird that we're just so adjusted to fire alarms that we don't even react anymore?
Yeah.
Like, see when a fire alarm goes off,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, let's rush out the door. I'm like,
No.
who set toast on fire?
Oh my god, I know.
Like his school, I don't know what fire alarms and fire drills and all that are like in other schools and other areas or in other countries.
Yeah.
But my school, it was very much like the fire alarm went off multiple times a week. There was like, there was a big phase of fire alarms.
Right.
There was like, the fire alarm would go off, you'd all get out onto the pitch and be stood in your Reggie classes, and then you would be heading back in and you would have just about got to your classroom, and then it would go off again and then you'd be back out. So, like, they ended up having to get guards on them that beep.
Right.
Because people were just setting off, they went off during exams, they went off during prelims.
Right.
They were like, there was also a teacher that always done a jelly baby experiment, so always set the fire alarm off. So you'd be like, someone set it, is it the jelly babies, is it the toast from the can? Like, never once did the fire, I think the fire brigade stopped coming.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just now feel so desensitized. I was in the gym once and the fire alarm went off and I was just like, I got off.
I remember being in halls at uni and the fire alarm going off, and it went off so regularly that I just stood at my window and looked down to see if anyone was going out, and nobody went. So I just thought, I'm sure I'll find out if it genuinely becomes an issue, but I'll just stay here.
I'm sure my friend works as cabin crew.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that she was in a country and the fire alarm went off or something went off and she was like, I don't know if I should leave my room or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we are just so desensitized. We hear an alarm and we're like, nah.
No, this is so true.
Nah,
so we were
not
once,
doing anything about it.
I think it was like me and a few friends were staying in Glasgow, and we were like in an it wasn't an Airbnb, but it's like, you know, you can get like an apartment thing. And we were all in our pajamas and the fire alarm went off in the morning, and my friend, there was 5 of us and 3 of us were like, well, we don't know what to do. And 2 of us were like, oh, we'll go down. And my friend Lauren and I think it was Lindsay both went outside. But Lauren didn't think until she got down there. She was just in her little jammies and she had those dressing gown curls in, like full. And they went downstairs, and then suddenly like a swarm of like men just appeared outside, and we're all standing like in their business casual and stuff, and they were just there in their jammies. And Lauren just turns to Lindsay and went, my hair. And the rest of us were up the stairs like, I'm not going down there, I don't need to, I've not got a bra on, I'm not putting a bra on, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm totally with you.
Just so, like, there was one time the smoke alarm went, so my friends were all staying in, when I first moved out, they were all staying at mine, and this smoke alarm went off.
Yeah.
Not in my flat, and it went on for ages and ages and ages, to the point where we were dancing.
Yeah.
We were like dancing to the smoke alarm and all that, and then we were like, no, we should open the door and find out where this is. We opened the door and it was my neighbour across the way.
Oh my god.
But I'd never met him before. There was actually, I have really weird stories about that neighbour in general. So I don't know what he'd done, and then he ended up having the door open. I don't know if we chapped the door. I can't really remember. There's videos of us just dancing to this because it went on for ages. Yeah. But one time someone chapped my door and was like, oh, so his name was John, and was like, oh, I'm John's brother, have you seen him? And I was like, no. I was like, I've not even met him. I don't. And they were like, and like they would like come by regularly, and like you'd hear there people come by regularly, knock his door, and there would just be no answer, and I'm like, who is this man? Like, he was such a...
Was he a recluse?
I don't know. It was really weird. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
So, for this new segment, I purchased some books.
She's a reader. She's an educated girl.
I've been listening to a podcast and they talk a lot about like different
Yeah.
philosophy and things like that, and I think it's really interesting.
Right.
So I got the Little Book of Philosophy and the Little Book of Psychology, Little Book of Sociology, and the Little
Yeah.
Book of Economics. I won't bring the economics one onto the podcast.
Please
that sounds
don't.
quite
Sounds
boring.
like numbers. Yeah.
But so this is the Little Book of Something section.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a theory of philosophy. Now I'm only on the first chapter.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to read a theory and then we're going to just kind of debate it a little bit back and
Okay.
forth. So it's more like an informed, rather than something from our brain, it's more an informed thing. So I'm going to read the theory of Pythagoras.
So Zoe mentioned this to me just before, and I got scared because I thought she was going to ask me a maths question. But I have been assured that she's not.
Yeah, it does say the word mathematical, but just chill, it's
Okay.
not got
Okay.
maths in it.
Okay.
Now, I might mess up some of these words, so
all
bear
right.
with me. So, one of the most well-known pre-Socratics? Socrates? I don't know. Pythagoras believed that numbers lay in the centre of all things. His ideas influenced Plato, Aristotle, and Western esotericism. I can't say that word. Much of what we know about Pythagoras is, as with most of the pre-Socrates, open to conjecture and built around myth and legend. He's said to have been the incarnation of the god Apollo, to have had a golden thigh and a magic arrow, and to be able to be in two places at one time. You can see why he was such a legend, right? So, now on to his theory. He theorised that the planets and stars move according to a harmonious mathematical relationship and produce an inaudible symphony known as the music of spheres. He was also well known for his theory of oh my god, do you know what? It doesn't matter. Do you want me to spell it out?
He's famous for something.
METEMPSYCOSIS, so metapsychosis or something like
Okay, I will be honest, you just spelled something out to a dyslexic. Not a clue what went on there.
that. So this is where we're kind of getting into it. A belief in the transmigration of the soul, that when the body dies, the soul lives on, passing on to another body, either a human or an animal. So kind of that idea of incarnation.
Right.
You can see where I'm going here, okay? Pythagoras set up a commune of followers
Bit of
Cult.
Yeah.
in Croton, southern Italy. Life of the Pythagorean community focused on the improving of the soul, ready for the next life, and was built on the principles of extreme asceticism. I probably should have looked up these words first. Self-discipline and denial of pleasures, often for spiritual or religious reasons. Equality, vegetarianism, although beans were banned. Slay. A love of music as a connection to the divine and a dedication to developing the psyche. So, essentially, what this is, my question to you is, Rose, that I pose, my philosophical question that I really struggle to say that word, is, do you believe in reincarnation?
So, kind of, because I don't really know if I believe in higher powers, because I don't think, like, I don't think we go nowhere,
Right.
if that makes sense. I know that that people think though that energy has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's out of like a more of a fear thing that I would like to think that we don't go nowhere, or like it just ends, because hang on, let me start this again. So I feel like I kind of do, but I don't know to what extent. I don't know if I believe in reincarnation in the sense of like I could be reincarnated into an animal, or I could be reincarnated into like an inanimate object, or like I know that there are some faiths that believe that if you do certain things in this life, you will be rewarded by being reincarnated into something, or
that's what that was kind of
punished
saying
by-
about his commune of like,
Yeah.
they were readying themselves for their next life.
yeah. But I don't think I believe it in that sort of terms. But I feel like kind of I could see that I could see myself have I could see that myself might have existed before, and I feel like I don't have the same sense of that I'm going to exist again,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, or in a human form. I don't know, but I feel like I could have existed before.
Yeah.
Not that I have those specific memories of like I'm convinced that I am, like, you know how
Yeah.
people have like past life memory.
So I don't believe in reincarnation.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I do regularly. For someone, I don't believe in
Yeah.
a lot of things. See, for someone that doesn't believe in a lot of things, I talk a lot
Yeah.
of guff, right? So I regularly say that in a past life, I think that I was a communist or an anarchist,
Yeah.
or there's something that, like, if past lives existed, I was out there doing something to
Yeah.
try and readjust the planet. Like, I was fighting for something.
Yeah.
Because this version of me and this present me doesn't really care to change the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as an individual, as Zoe, I don't really care to change the world. I just
Yeah.
want to live my life, right? Whereas I've put something deep rooted in me that I can't explain,
Yeah, no, I'm the
just
same.
as like, you need to fight for everything, and you've got things to say, and like there's like something that keeps pulling me back to all these things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, but it doesn't align with me now.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll say things that is so like opposite to my family and my upbringing that I just can't explain, and I'm like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like,
And
where,
it is the sort of, is that a nature or nurture sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I get you.
but like I think that reincarnation sounds cool. It sounds
Yeah.
cool that you are never actually, because there's this theory, I don't know, I can't remember who came up with it and what it was, but it's like, you are everyone, and everyone is in you. So when
Yeah.
you're being nice to someone, you're being nice to yourself.
Yeah.
And that you are every version of everyone that has ever existed. So at one point you could
Right.
be God. Like, the idea is that you are
Yeah.
this person, and when you die, you could go back to the past, you could go back to the future. There's no
Yeah.
present time of
Yeah.
when you're reincarnated, because the time doesn't really, is more a concept than an existence.
Yeah.
And all of these things, which I think super. I mean, personally, I think it's a load of guff.
Yeah.
And I think that if you believe in it, I'm like, yeah, pop off, sis. Like, you got to believe in something. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I think it's interesting that these little, so what it was kind of saying in this book about the kind of first chapter and all that, that these were the kind of founding fathers, or the key thinkers
Yeah.
of, like, they weren't just looking at the earth and going, it's a god,
Yeah.
and it's up to God, or it's up to these divine people that,
Yeah.
that have created this. It's more like they were trying to find answers for the world, and like, what does exist, what happens
Yeah.
after. And I think that the idea of reincarnation is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like your soul is never truly yours. Do you know what I mean? It's going on, and it's going to experience so much more, and does that carry with you to each
Yeah.
body or vessel that you go to?
Yeah. And I suppose it sort of revolves around the question of whether people believe souls actually are a thing.
Yeah.
Like, some people believe that there's, like, no, you don't have a soul.
Yeah,
And
because it baffles me that if I took out my brain and put it in someone else's body, would they have all the thoughts that I have?
yeah.
Or is it that they took the brain out of the body and there's no thoughts left? Like, that then becomes that person's original. Like, I don't understand how thoughts and sense of self and being, all of that gets created in a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, if you remove my brain and put my brain into your head, are you going to think like me and have all of my thoughts? Are you going to hear my voice in your head? Or is it that you're going to hear your
Yeah.
voice and go, this isn't my brain?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Well, according to the laws of Freaky Friday. Apparently so.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. Definitely. If I'm being so honest, I don't know for definite what I believe, because I find these questions interesting, but sometimes if I think too much about it, I will spiral into a pit of desperation.
Oh, well, you
and
better,
doom.
clip yourself in each week for my little book of something.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's just going to be me after a few weeks of this rocking back and forth in the corner. No, it is.
These are
really,
things,
yeah.
the sense of self and thought and like psychology. Like, I am a loser for all of this stuff. Like, this is my my nom 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 nom.
Yeah.
I could eat it all up. So I'm really excited about this. Yeah. So I think you know, if anyone else has got anything that they want to throw into the little book of something, the theory or something, please send that in to us. That would be really cool. Just to, because I think it's great that we're doing like loads of random thoughts and but I think it'd be cool to touch on something that's got a little bit of something around it and debate it, a little kind of structured debate around a theory.
Yeah,
like that.
Let us know what you think.
But yeah, so that was Pythagoras.
I am so intrigued by the concept of Pythagoras as a possible cult leader. What? That was so new information to me.
This book's got loads of interesting stuff. Thank you for joining us on the little book of something. This was the little book of something. This was the little book of something. Here's a theory. Let's debate it. Boop, boop, boop. The little book of something.
Yay! Speaking of like reincarnation and
bring me back as a chicken on fruit.
More about afterlives than reincarnation.
What
maybe,
would you want to come back as?
Oh, a unicorn. I don't know why that was the first thing that came in my head.
I want to come back as a mythical creature.
Yeah, that would be sick though. Can you imagine? Everyone would be like,
"No, I'd like to come back as my cat." Like a lazy. I want to come back as a lazy, good time animal, just living my best life. Yeah, not having to do anything.
Yeah, I could see that. No, I'd want to be something really cool. Like,
fair.
Yeah, I'd want to be some sort of mythical thing. Maybe even a mermaid, but that's I'd have to swim, and that's.
Would you be a mermaid or a siren?
See, it sounds fun to lure men to their deaths. Lure sailors to their deaths, but like I think like sirens were. Nah, I'm gonna be a mermaid because mermaids just sound more peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I'll want peace in the afterlife if there was one, but yeah, like the fact that people used to get buried with all the things that they wanted.
Buried.
For fuck's sake, how would you have said it?
Buried.
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 It's buried.
Buried.
It's got a U. Buried.
Buried.
They'd be buried with all their shit that they want to take, and then like people used to have like their wives. Did you see the video
of the guy running up the pyramids or something like that?
No.
I don't know if
Why
it's
is he
pyramids.
doing that? That seems like too much work.
Was it in Colombia? No. I don't know. I'll show you after. This guy just like counting up the stairs.
No, you can't run up them. The bricks are like, nah.
Man running up, bang.
Because that's the whole point of like people can't understand how they built the pyramids. Is that the like it's massive.
Pyramids. German tourists seen running up an ancient Mayan pyramid in hold on, fucking shut up.
Not in Egypt.
No, sorry. A German tourist has been seen running up an ancient Mayan pyramid in Mexico on Thursday, March 20th, ignoring warning signs saying that climbing is prohibited. And now he's fast. I'll put the video up, but I'll show you just now.
Okay, I will accept that. Christ. Do you know what that is like?
Everyone's just like chasing after him. Do you know what that
feels like? You know the steps into the Trinity Centre? Oh my god.
Everyone's like booing him and stuff as well.
Somebody's running up after him.
Yeah, probably stop him.
I know, but like, what's the point in that? You shouldn't be running up there, so I'm going to run up behind you.
Yeah. But everyone's just like debating. But he got up there really quick.
Yeah, that is Speedy Gonzales.
But everyone's just debating of whether that's like funny or bad or awful. I think it's awful. Like if it's saying don't climb on it, don't climb on it, man. Like why you gotta be that guy? Why you gotta like just leave things alone? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, will we move on to our would you rather?
Yes, I think you should go first.
Okay, would you rather eat ice cream off of a hairy man's toe that's got sun cream on it for a month, or share a communal toothbrush with 5 other people for a month? Look at the pain in your eyes.
It's got to be the toothbrush. I mean, that's horrendous.
Now,
but wait, hang on. How grubby are these people?
So these are 5 strangers. You don't ever meet them. You don't know anything about their dental hygiene.
And they could be doing dirty things with that toothbrush.
Yep, there is no guarantee. It's an electric toothbrush. And you can't change the head for just your teeth. You know nothing of their tooth health. You know nothing about them. They're 5 strangers that you communally share a toothbrush with for a month.
See, I wouldn't even share a toothbrush with one person that I know.
And
that
the other one is like the guy you're on holiday. It's like sunny day.
And that goes on for a month as well.
Yeah. Eating ice cream off of a man's foot, a hairy man's foot.
So he's got hairy toes.
Yeah, he's got hairy toes. And he like never clipped his toenails for the month.
I choose option number 3, which is death. No, they're both all. And he hasn't clipped his toenails.
He clipped his toenails before the month started, but he didn't clip his toenails throughout.
What state are the toenails clean?
I mean, he showers every day, but you're getting to him like end of day, during the day. He's maybe wearing sandals, maybe had to put sun cream on his feet. Maybe went for a dip in the pool, trip to the spa.
I don't like this. I feel like I don't want to go anywhere near that man's toes. But it scares me that it's 5 people that I can't see. Like, what if they're shoving the toothbrush up their bum or something?
Yeah. What if they've got a disease in
Yeah.
their mouth?
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna have
They
to
could
be.
have herpes.
It's gonna have to be the ice cream.
What if you got herpes because you shared a toothbrush with?
But like,
someone
what if I
you've never
got
met?
herpes off his toes or something? I don't know if that I might get some sort of like athlete's foot of the mouth.
That's true. That's a risk that you need to determine.
I don't like it. What would you do?
I think I would go for the ice cream.
Right.
Because there's no saying that the ice cream needs to be eaten every day. It's just for a month. You could have ice cream once a week for a month. If it's every day, I think...
I thought you meant every day.
Let's say that it's
Right.
every day. That makes it fair. But I think that I would... At least I know the man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So do I have to choose the man? With
no,
the hairy
you,
face?
like
Right.
the man is pre-chosen for you, but at least like I can eat the ice cream and have a chat with the guy. Do you know what I mean? I can be like, oh, how's your day going? Like, and
Well,
I
you're
can get,
at his feet.
yeah, I can get to know him a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a chit chat, but the thought of sharing it with 5 people that I've never met and I don't know anything about their tooth health.
See, you're doing that as if you're eating it with a spoon. Are we getting a
Yeah,
spoon?
no, you get
okay,
a
that's
spoon.
fine.
You're
That's
not
fine.
like eating. I know you're not like mouth to foot. That's a
Okay.
bit too far. No, you get a spoon.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it'll melt in between his toes and all that.
Okay. Now that I know that I can get a spoon.
Yeah. There's like one scoop on his foot. He could have been at the beach that day. Anything, you don't know what he's
Could
done.
I like? Do I have to eat all the ice cream? Like, could I leave the layer that closest touch his feet?
Like, I mean, you don't have to scrape off the melted bits,
Okay.
but you definitely
Yeah.
need to take a fair dunk at that scoop.
I suppose if I'm able to have conversations with him, I could
Yeah.
make.
In this scenario,
like,
he doesn't. It's not a kink thing for him.
okay, that's fine, and I can
'Cause
have
that would
conversations
write me
with
off
him
it.
every day to be like, make sure you really wash your feet tomorrow.
Yeah, and he might not. There's no guarantee.
I feel like I know. Oh, it's gonna have to be that, isn't it?
I couldn't think of anything worse than sharing a toothbrush with
Yeah.
someone. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
I feel like either scenario, you're likely to get some sort of infection.
Yeah, but the thought of sharing a toothbrush with 5 people that I don't know.
Or ever cross paths
Just
with.
sharing a toothbrush with anyone. I'd
Yeah.
rather use my finger.
Yeah.
Even though it does nothing, I'd rather do that than share a toothbrush with someone.
Yeah.
That makes me feel sick.
You'd have to like be dousing yourself in bleach and shit.
Yeah, like what if like no, what if they've only got like 3 teeth?
I mean, less brush.
No, it makes me
Yeah,
feel really
terrible gums.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
yeah, I've decided that my would you rather's from now on are going to be quite unhinged.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I would need to be prepared to be disgusted.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time.
I think we've
Okay.
been too calm for too long.
Yeah.
I'm going to mess it all up now.
Okay, nice. Right, my would you rather is, would you rather fight a kangaroo or a badger?
Badger.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting a kangaroo.
They're terrifying.
They can use their tail as a fifth leg.
Why do they look like they've been in the gym 7 days a week?
There's no... Oh, I got a big shiver. That's the kangaroos coming
but
for me.
I think that badgers are also quite...
They're violent.
Yeah.
And I reckon that, like... But I could kick a badger.
Yeah.
I mean, it might take my ankle with it, but I
Yeah.
could kick it.
Have you seen videos of kangaroos fighting each other?
Yeah, no.
It's like two guys like fighting outside of a pub.
I don't need punched by kangaroo.
No.
Like, back to that Novocaine film. Like, you know how in films, like, they just, like, throw you against a wall and they just get back up? Sorry, if you throw me against a wall with that much vigour, I am not getting back up. I'm sitting there, I'm taking my time. I'm winded.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not normal. If I'm getting punched by a kangaroo, I'm calling my mum. And I'm going, Mum, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
I think
Come
what
help me.
freaks me out more about kangaroos is that they look like there's a human being locked inside them.
Yeah.
Like that was someone's punishment. They've been turned into a kangaroo.
Oh, that's
and they're
quite cool.
living their life like trapped in kangaroo form, and they're having to take their aggression out on shit because like they're raging that they're a kangaroo.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not. I ain't messing with no kangaroos.
I know.
I want them. I want to keep the peace with them.
Yeah.
Because they could do an uprising.
Do you know what? I never want to cross paths with them. I don't even want peace with them. I don't ever want to see them. I don't want to. I wish I wasn't aware of their existence, because
I didn't know you had as much fear of kangaroos.
I didn't think I did either until earlier in the week when I saw like a video of like, I can't remember if I sent it, of this kangaroo, and it like came up to like squared up to somebody, and I was like, no, why? And do you know what I think is so upsetting is because Kanga and Roo from Winnie the Pooh were so lovely.
They were.
So sweet, and like,
But I don't think that kangaroos are like naturally violent.
maybe not, but like I suppose it's just like the rise of what you're like seeing on like social media, like just a kangaroo in its natural habitat's not going to be much interest to make a video of. But like any time in the last few years I've seen anything about a kangaroo, it's that you can see the pissed offness in the man in there.
I just love the theory that like back in the past one day, like way back, like some witch just cursed a man.
Yeah.
And went, you are cursed to be a kangaroo forever.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's just what kangaroos are. Kangaroos are now just cursed men stuck in a...
Like Cersei turned all of Odysseus's men into pigs, except somebody did it to
For kangaroos. Wow.
And for all of eternity, you've just had like
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll fight the badger.
Yeah.
I think the badger would pretty much mess me up.
Yeah.
But I'll take the badger.
Yeah. I feel like you've got a better chance of outrunning a badger as well.
I just reckon that I could kick it, and that would give like... Do you know what I mean?
Might aggravate it.
I can't kick a kangaroo.
No.
I can't punch a kangaroo.
No. Kangaroos drop kick as well, don't they?
They can bounce onto that tail.
Yeah.
And then they've got 4 limbs.
And then imagine it was like a female kangaroo, and all of a sudden a second kangaroo.
Joey pops out. No, thank you.
No, not for me.
But, yeah. Okay, well, now on
yeah.
that image of us fighting kangaroos and badgers, we'll leave you with that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So have a nice time thinking about that. Oh my god, my brain just went blank. I was just trying to do the outro and it just went, no, you will not. So that was episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, I know.
Wow.
Wild.
Thank you very much for watching/listening. If you could like, subscribe, comment, tell us something good or bad. If you have any kind of thoughts that you want to share with us, we'd be super excited to hear them. And yeah, if you want to contact us, you can check out our social media pages, which are Brains Unpicked Pod, or you can email us at brainsunpicked@gmail.com. But other than that, that's us. So
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.